Hello there and a very warm welcome. You with World is One News. I'm Molly Gambhir getting you this special report now on a usual Sunday morning of April 23rd. Maldivians woke up to the shocking news of the brutal killing of the 29-year-old prominent blogger Yameen Rasheed. Yameen is one among the many bloggers, thinkers, writers who are being brutally suppressed amid Maldives' growing Islamic fundamentalism. Here's a report by WION senior international correspondent Padma Rao.
He was a 29-year-old IT engineer and doing what most young people around the world would do at that age. Reading, writing, blogging, sometimes poking cheeky fun at others, offering sharp critique of government, his people, their lives and their futures. But Yameen Rasheed paid for his outspokenness with his life. He was found with dozens of stab wounds and a smashed skull by none less than his weeping father. Yameen was found not in a hospital bed, but in the morgue. Rasheed had been educated in India, and perhaps some of the neighbouring democracies' principles of free speech had rubbed off on the avid blogger, whose daily panic was widely read in his tiny country of more than 1,000 islands. But in the tiny archipelago, increasingly in the throes of intolerant Wahhabi fundamentalism emanating mostly from Saudi Arabia, there seems no room for the indigenous and uniquely Maldivian brand of conservative but tolerant Islam anymore. Few surprises that the highest number of recruits from South Asia in the Islamic State is from one of its tiniest countries, the Maldives. Dozens of young people who write, speak their minds and want a brighter, freer and more democratic future have been brutally silenced or simply disappeared. Rasheed's killers may never be caught, but his family is not giving up. If not for their own, then certainly for the future of other young Maldivians staring at a bleak life under yet another all-powerful totalitarian government. Padma Rao, WION.
And since the death of the Maldivian blogger, his parents have been seeking justice for their son. Rasheed's father, Hussein Rasheed, speaks to WION on the continuing drama.
What does it feel like to come to visit your son one day and find him dead with 32 stab wounds? I'm here with Mr. Hussein Rasheed, the father of Yameen Rasheed, a 29-year-old blogger full of spirit, life and criticism for his society. Mr. Hussein Rasheed, could you tell us about Yameen? What was he like as a child? I believe he grew up in India.
Sure, well, he's a lovely boy. And when I brought him to India, he was just 2 years. So he was a lovely boy. I admitted him in his school in Trivandrum, and he studied up to +2 in Trivandrum. And he likes to study and reads a lot. Even at the age of 5 years or so, he likes to read. He reads the books at night, and until he sleeps. The books will be on his pillow, sometimes besides him, like that he sleeps always. So I like him very much, and he always jogs with the children at home also after coming to school, and he's very regular in the school and he studies well.
When did you decide to return to the Maldives and why?
Well, actually we came to India only the education of my children, since we did not have good schools in our place. We are far away from Malé, and actually that's the southernmost point of the Maldives, where they had schools up to grade 7. That is also in Divehi medium, which I did not like. It was not affordable to me to keep everybody in Malé. So it was so expensive. Another thing is we cannot find good accommodation for all, and we had water problems there.
So when you returned to the Maldives, what year was it?
Yameen went to Malé after his graduation in 2010, and immediately after he got a job and he joined Dirag, the telecommunication company of the government of Maldives. And he worked there till last year, and he resigned from there and joined another company called Maldives Stock Exchange. During his working time, he spends most of his time in writing and these things. He does most of his work only at night. He was writing his blogs and so many other things. And if he writes, I think, in foreign media also. Once he showed some magazines, some of his articles he's written in a British magazine. Also, he showed me.
Was Yameen always a child who was, talkative and who liked to express his opinion? And would you say that that is something that do you regret perhaps in one sense bringing him up in India? Because India is a democracy and there is press freedom here and there's no censorship.
No, not at all. Because I also studied in India. I like Indian democracy very much. The rules and regulations over here is quite good. India is like a home country for myself. I feel like that. And I brought to India, it's for two purposes. One thing is it is cheaper and education is quite good and it's affordable to me. Well, the culture is also very much closer to ours, Maldivian culture. So there are more Muslims in India than our whole of country. Even in Trivandrum, there are more Muslims, if we say that way also. So I feel India is better, so I have no regret for bringing him up in India. And expression of his opinions is also not something I oppose. I also was advocating for justice, equality, humanity, so, like that. So that part of his opinions are very good. So I liked it very much. I actually encouraged him for that also, without going to extremism.
Take us back to December last year when Yameen began to receive threats. Who were these threats from?
Well, he did not share these things with me, so I did not know. Mostly, I don't read his blogs and all. Really, sometimes I see, but I have not seen any threats. I have not been informed by him. He has not shared any of these informations. If he has shared, definitely I would not have left him there to be killed. Well, so he did not share because maybe he did not inform me or not shared with me because I'm a heart patient. I have undergone angioplasty and all, and I am diabetic. Maybe he thought I could not tolerate, maybe something like that. He has not informed me about that. That is bad. I regret for that today.
Did he talk to his mother? Was he close to his mother?
He has also not been informed well, and he shared little information with only his sister Aisha, so not with anyone else. Then only he shared these information with his colleagues that I came to know after his death.
Mr. Hussain, please take us back to the day last month, in fact, on the 23rd of April. What happened that day?
On 16th, I went to Malé and he came to airport to receive me. So next day morning, I had my flight to our place, Addu. And he was sleeping by the time I left and he did not wake up. So I just went straight to the airport. I went to Malé, to our place. So I spent nearly 4 days there. On 23rd early morning, my brother called me up by telephone. And I think he has been knocking my door for some time, but I was not opening the door. I left. Actually, I went to bed late, around 2 o'clock or so. I opened the door, so I saw 2 policemen standing beside him. I got frightened. I thought they have come to pick me up because I was always talking against the government.
You speak of the current government of President Yameen.
Yes. So I thought they came to pick me up. But instead, they asked me a question, who are you? I said, I'm Yameen Rasheed. They said, what is your relation between you and Yameen? I said, I'm his father. Then he said, he's in the hospital. Then they asked me my telephone number. I just they texted someone. And immediately somebody called me and he said, Yameen is wounded and he's in the hospital. And then they asked me about some information regarding that. how can I give any information? I just disconnected. Then immediately I called my daughter, Aisha, so to inform her about that. But I thought she could not tolerate this. Then I disconnected again. I called my youngest one. Maybe she might be a little brave. She could tolerate. But when I said, she started crying. Then I disconnected. Then immediately I rushed to the airport. I came to Male. Straight away I was taken to the hospital. So there were so many security people. So I went straight to the room where he was kept. I tried to enter. They did not allow me. They said to wait outside for some time. And he's badly wounded. I said I won't see him in the same condition. They told me that I cannot tolerate. I said, now I understood he's dead.
When they said that?
I know he's dead. I won't see him in the same condition. But they held me up for some time. After 1 hour or so, they showed me. So they put some sutures on the body. And they did not allow me to take any photograph in that condition. And I counted the wounds on his chest. There are 3 on his forehead. On the chest itself, there were 14 wounds, big wounds, deep wounds.
I understand this is very difficult for you, and I appreciate your talking to us. And I would like to know, sir, how can India help you?
Well, I don't trust our police investigations because there were a number of cases happened before. Some of the famous cases everybody knows are Dr. After Hashim's murder case and Rizwar's abduction. And not only that, there are so many others. So, but these are the famous cases. The investigations are going on, they say. They have turned all these stones, they say, but nothing happened. So in my son's case also, I don't trust them because of these things. So I want the Indian government to help us, giving us investigators, observers in the time of the trial. These things are going on in Maldives for past, it is increased actually, it was going on before also. During Mahmoud's time also it was going on, but now it is increased.
Why would you say it has increased, sir? What are the actual facts on it?
During the past 18 years' time, we have seen around 5 years' time, we have seen around 18 cases. So nobody is punished, nobody is brought to the justice so far.
I'm sorry to take you back to that scene of when Yameen was murdered, but I also heard that there was some kind of whitewashing of the walls and cleaning up the scene of crime.
So after getting the dead body, we went to the airport island where he's buried. After burial, we came home. So there were some police people standing there. So I saw some people cleaning and painting the wall. So it was already painted. I asked the police why they are allowed to do this while the investigation is not completed. They said they have taken the forensic information they want. So it's not in their control. The house owner can paint his house whenever he wants. Just like that, they replied. But the whole house is dirty. All the walls are dirty. Only that part of the wall is painted. So that is the question. I was worried because why they did not paint other parts? Only that wall where they had this struggling, maybe pushing. All these things happened, and maybe they touched that wall only. So that was painted.
Mr. Hussain, a question now about Maldivian society. Now there is this, there are these growing, there is this growing fundamentalism influenced primarily by Saudi Arabia, Wahhabi brand of Islam. And whereas the Maldivians themselves are known to be a traditionally conservative but tolerant people. So people, those who murdered your son, Do you feel that they are part of the establishment of under President Yameen, or do you feel that they may have come from radicalized society itself?
Well, this is very difficult to explain. Actually, Yameen was getting death threats not from the religious people, but they are threatening on the name of religion. So, Yameen has been complaining to the police and informing to the police, and the police was inactive and they are not taking any action against those who are threatening. So, they are known people and they have the relation with the high authorities of the government. I don't say they are government authorities, but these people who are giving the threats, they are very much closer to the authorities. So no action was taken, and so from 2012 onwards, Yameen has been informing to the police regularly, and he has got a written document from the government, from the police authority, that has complained to the police. That is with me. So that was 22nd of December 2016. Afterwards, also he has tagged these threats to the police, but no action has been taken and he is murdered. So why the government is not taking any actions? It makes me to suspect like that.
Mr. Hussain, are your family, the rest of your family are still in the Maldives? Aren't you worried for them? Would you like to return to India or apply maybe for political asylum somewhere else in the world?
Well, I'm very much concerned about their staying in Maldives, and I do not feel my children will be safe there. And I don't know whether we can come to India or not, because there will be visa problems, this and that. So, but I told my daughter to find jobs somewhere else, because she has to look after my wife, her mother, and she's having a son of 6 years old, and she has to look after him also. And if she goes to a job, she needs her mother to be with the child. And we have our son Yasin, and he cannot do a job right now, but because he's partially deaf and all, it's not safe for them. I told them.
What is it in the Maldives, Mr. Hussain, that has allowed all this to happen? Because there have been many reports on rampant corruption, the islands of your beautiful country being sold, to foreigners. Why is Maldivian society not able to strike back or protest against this?
It is because, we are having a small population scattered over about 180 islands with small populations, and most of the people, they are not well off to go for any strike. If they lose their job, so next day they won't be able to pay their rents, and they wouldn't have money enough for to manage the families. So the people who are having the jobs, they cannot come to the road, or they cannot express their opinions because they will be sacked. And the other people, they are working very hard to meet both ends. So that's the reason. Then again, whenever we have a political gathering, the police forces come in and they are dispersing the crowd. So it's very difficult to do anything, and we cannot express anything in the media also. So the media will be fine.
What would you expect now that you're here in India? You've made an appeal to the United Nations as well. Do you seriously expect the world community to react? Because many countries would say, this is, we have good relations with the government, we can't do anything.
Well, so it's not only me. So the most of the Maldivians, and from the last election, you would know how many people are opposed to the its policies, and everybody is against these corruptions and all. So everybody knows it's vividly done. So everybody wants to have a change, but how can we change? That's the main thing. So we won't get some foreign intervention in this and we want help from all outsiders. I think India is the most appropriate country, being closer to us, and every time India is coming to help. In the tsunami also they helped us, when in the water crisis also India came to help us. Like that, whenever it's like that, India being the biggest democracy and the best neighbor, closer neighbor here, so we expect from India to most of the help. In India also, we need this help this time to bring the government on the democratic path. It's important. We feel like that. I don't know how the government of India can help us, but we need it.
And if you were to, say that in the memory of Yameen, what is it that you would like to tell Maldivian youth of his age?
Well, I want everybody to have the same courage, the same thing, and work the same way for democracy, humanity, these things. I want to have, I want to tell all the youth to do the same job as he has done.
In his memory. And a very last question, Mr. Hussain, if you can perhaps address your appeal to India, the Indian government, as a father, towards the camera. Could you tell us what you would like India, how you would like India to help you and your family?
So, well, India is the biggest democracy, and I feel myself, I'm an Indian, being so long living in India, and I like India very much. So, in many ways, India can help us. The first thing I want is India to send some investigators in investigation of my son's case and other cases also. And I want India to participate in observation of the trial of my son's case if it goes to the court. I don't know whether it would go to court or not so far, because investigation is still not conclusive. It is going on. So I like India to help us in this way. And I want India to pressurize our government to go for a serious investigation and bring all these culprits to the justice.
Mr. Yameen Rasheed, this has not been a happy occasion to meet, but I'm thankful that you spoke to WION, and I wish you all the very best with both your family's future as well as that of your country.
I thank you very much for giving your time and helping us in this way, at least. Thank you very much.